This week on Supercars Torque, it's your last chance to get your entries in for the big Bathurst giveaway. GRM is back in business, and I'll run through the top end of town on the Bathurst entry list. So, first things first, I'm running a Bathurst prize giveaway for those who haven't seen the last couple of weeks. I've got this lovely poster, 1997, Greg Murphy's car, but signed by the late, great Peter Brock. There's his little photo. It was the HRT promo poster for the year. All you have to do to win that is, down in the comments section, name your podium place getters for Bathurst. If no one gets it correct, the closest will win. So far, there's been quite a lot of entries, which has been good, and no double ups yet. So maybe run through the entries over the last couple of weeks. Some people have dropped me a line at supercarstalk@gmail.com as well. Whoever gets in first, if there is a double up, gets it. And the same thing if there's kind of a tiebreaker, or if someone gets three but they're not in the right entry in the correct positions, the first entry will get it. So that's open to everyone. Good luck, and let me know who you think's going to win the race, really. So, GRM is back in the race. They've given up on their appeal that they were going to have to get Nathan Hearn in the race. I won't get into the whole super license thing and all that. They gave up on it. They've shown us the livery of the car. I am not sure what LMCT Plus is that's down the side of the car. Valvoline is the normal kind of Gary Rogers sponsor. Car looks pretty smart, really. Nathan O'Hearn is out, and we will be seeing Jaden Ojeda team up with Tyler Everingham. Jaden was in the Super 3 Championship last year, finished second to Brock Feeney in that championship, I think, and he's been running around in the Super 2 Championship this year. Essentially, I will be very surprised if they don't qualify last, and for them, finishing the race will be an achievement. Not to say they're bad drivers, but as I said, running through the field last week, there's some, even the worst teams out there at the moment. If you went kind of 5-10 years ago, they would have actually been pretty good lineups back in those days. And speaking of new liveries, Erebus has come out with a special livery for Bathurst again. I think this signals their intention of not wanting to win the Great Race, because, as I've ran through many times before, special liveries don't win races. And to me, I think all year their livery has been a bit too busy, and this just makes it even busier. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think, whether I'm being a bit funny, but I saw a lot of comments when it came out on Bookface and that, with people absolutely in love with it. To me, it's a bit too busy. The same people were complaining about like the 888 and the Penske paint jobs being too plain, but then the sponsors are very easy to distinguish on the TV, whereas you can see the Penrite easily, but a lot of the other sponsors on that car do kind of get lost in the paint job when it's on TV, seeing as though we're not allowed to see them in person. Although there is going to be 4,000 fans allowed in at Bathurst each day. The photos of the socially distanced seats have been put up there. It's not. I wouldn't be too keen to be sat in one of those seats for the whole of the Great Race. That that would be an interesting day. I can see a lot of people, maybe even sliding down and lying on the grass or something, because yeah, they're not like your normal kind of comfy camping chairs that you'd probably find people taking there themselves. They're a bit more like those crappy fold up school chair kind of things. Yeah, some people are going to have fun sitting in them all day. I also heard, interestingly, I heard that they're charging $250 for these passes at Bathurst, and I'm not sure. That's what I've heard. I haven't looked at the tickets or anything. Obviously, I'm in Victoria. I'm not allowed to go anywhere. But I thought, phew, $250 considering there's only 4,000 people allowed. Like, that's pretty good. Supercars probably could have been charging $2,000 or something for these tickets. And then I heard a lot of people there was a lot of comments about Supercars doing a cash grab for $250 a ticket. These people obviously haven't tried to go to the Grand Prix where, you might get 100,000 people there for the day. And I think a general admission for one day when, there's 50-odd thousand general admission people is about $150. So I thought 200. If it is 250 for for a 4-day pass, yeah, especially when there's only 4,000 available, that is definitely not a cash grab. I haven't looked up to see whether that is true or not. Now, on to the Bathurst preview, running through the entry list. As I said last week, I'm running in reverse order of the Teams Championship. That's how I decided. So it's not so much the favourites last in the list. It's just how we run through on the Teams Championship. So this is what I would call the big guns. Neil Crompton might call it something else, but we shouldn't probably say that word on TV like he did. We'll start off with the Brad Jones Racing, the lead team from them, because they're separated into two teams. Funnily enough, though, Tickford, all four cars are or in the Teams Championship, their two teams are next to each other in the Teams Championship. Anyway, so BJR, we'll start with Todd HAZELWOOD and Jordan Boys. Most of the teams in this side of the equation this week, there could be winners. These guys, nothing against HAZELWOOD. I fully expect to see top 10 shootout from HAZELWOOD. Jordan Boys, I haven't seen enough from him in Super 2 to be confident that he can go and run with the lead co-drivers. So how this year, because it is such a stacked field, you've really got to get down into the nitty-gritty. And yeah, Jordan, if he's on his day, he's very quick. But yeah, when you line him up next to the teammates, Nick PERCAT and Thomas Randall, Randall's leading the Super 2 Championship. PERCAT's doing a really good job. I fully expect to see this car in the top 10 shootout, and I'm putting them. They're my third place getters, I think. As I run through, we'll see. But yeah, I'll give you my top 4. I think it is. At the end of this, I fully expect those PERCAT and Randall to be in the hunt for the race, though. They're looking really good. It's a great lineup, and yeah, they've proved. And Randall's also doing the Super 2 races on the day before, so yeah, he'll have a lot of laps up there, where a lot of the other co-drivers are going to be lacking laps. That means, PERCAT can go and do more laps in the car in practice because he doesn't have to share with Randall as much, because Randall's also getting laps in his Super 2 car. Granted, it is a Nissan, and obviously the BGR car's a Commodore, so it's, they're not exactly the same, but they're pretty close. So yes, one of my favourites for the day. Next up, we have Erebus. These guys, they're having a very interesting year. If they turn up at Bathurst, they're going to be right on it. If they continue how they have been most of the year, they're going to struggle. My pick of the teammates is Anton and Brody Kostecki, purely because I think Brody's better than Will Brown. Anton's also having a good run at the moment. Having said that, Dave really turns it on at Bathurst. Yeah, if it's their day, either of these two pairings could win. I think Anton and Brody, Anton's, he's had kind of the form on Dave for the last few rounds. And as I said, I think Brody's better than Will Brown. Interestingly enough, Will Brown's the one with the seat of that team next year. Maybe they signed the wrong co-driver early on in the piece. It will be a really interesting inter-team battle. Dave gets back Alistair McVeigh, his engineer, who he's been missing for most of the year, and Dave is very much a confidence kind of driver. He really needs everything to be going right. I think he's been struggling a bit more than some of the others with the whole COVID thing, being away from home, not having his engineer, not having that cuddly kind of family that he needs around him. So Anton and Brody, they're one of my picks that I think, they can, no matter who's in the car all day, they can go for it. The 4 cars from Tickford are next. So we got the satellite kind of one. Courtney and Brock Feeney. Brock is the only, other than Jordan Boys, is the only rookie on this this week. So, funnily enough, Brock had to get dispensation to get his super license. As I said, I don't really want to get right into the nitty gritty of that, but I think we've seen enough from Brock in Super 2 that he deserves to be out there. He's going to be the one to kind of, I think the potential's there for him to be the slowest out of the 8 Tickford drivers. No surprising because he is a rookie. At least he's been given a chance. And I think now gone are the days where as long as your co-driver could kind of keep you, on the lead lap in position, and then, you have that safety car towards the end, and, as long as you have your main driver in at the end, they can go for it. I think the thing is, this year, you're really going to need your co-driver to keep you in that top 5 kind of positions for a run at the end. I think if you're out of the top 5 with 20 laps to go, I don't think you're in the race. So, unfortunately, I'm writing off that car because I don't think Brock's going to be able to, run with the best of the best. Then we have LeBrock and Moffat. Once again, Moffat will do a really good job as co-driver. LeBrock's potentially going to be the slowest of the 4 there. He has been impressing me as the year's gone on and on, but yeah, they're not going to be in that top 5 all day. Of course, having said all of these predictions, I'm probably going to be totally wrong and different things are going to happen. Holdsworth and Caruso, the battle of who's the shortest. Once again, both of them are going to do a really good job. I think Caruso's possibly going to be the quicker of the 2 drivers. But yeah, can they run in that top 5 all day with some of the other pairings? It's going to be hard. The 4th car from the team, or the number 1 car from the team, Cam Waters and Will Davison. They're either driver, any time of the day, they're going to be one of the quickest cars. No questions asked about that. They're one of my picks for the race. Davison should have a full-time drive. From what I'm hearing is he will have a full-time drive next year. And Cam Waters, he's been Mr. Consistency all year. He's always there or thereabouts. His one last time out, he'll be on a high. I fully expect them to be in the fight for the win. They're going to be... I will be very, very surprised if they're not in that top 3, if not top 5 all day. Moving on to Triple Eight, the championship team, Lowndes and WHINCUP. I mean, they've won Bathurst about 80 times between the two of them. Lowndes has only won 3 championships. You know, when you're talking about this team, you just the biggest thing probably is Lowndes has been a few years out of a full-time seat now. Yeah. Can he go toe-to-toe with some of the guys who, like Will Davison, who've only been out of the seat, you know, a few months? Hasn't had much racing in that this year, but it's Bathurst and it's Lowndes. You know, you can't discount him. Who I think is going to be the top car of the Triple Eight team, Van Gisbergen and Tander. Van Gisbergen's had a bit of a year to forget. I think, you know, a Bathurst win would make amends for him. He's the only one of the 4 who hasn't won Bathurst. And Garth Tander, in an endurance race, you cannot go wrong with Garth. You know, he, for so many years at HRT where the cars were nowhere, he'd poke up his head at the end of the endurance races. And he 2016, I think it was, took out Sandown. They were in the hunt for Bathurst that year until they got crashed out. Yeah, they're right up there with Waters and Davison, in my opinion. The final team to talk about is DJR Team Penske and Mr. Deborah's sacrificial lamb himself, Fabian COULTHARD and Tony D'Alberto. A very good pairing. Tony, he, you know, because he ran for his family team, he probably didn't get the credit that he deserved for his abilities. But can he run with the top guys? Probably not. And Fabian's had a few good last rounds. But yeah, when push comes to shove, I don't think these guys will be in the hunt. Having said that, I won't be surprised to see them kind of running. I don't think they're going to be top 3, but they'll be somewhere in that top 10, I think, most of the day. The lead car, obviously, Scott McLaughlin and Tim Slade. I rate Slade a lot higher than what a lot of other people do. There's a lot of people who knock Tim Slade. I think, considering the equipment he had throughout his career, he's done really well. It's great to see him in a Penske car. We'll get to see what his ability actually is this weekend. Having said that, though, I'm not putting these guys in my top 3. That could be a big mistake, but I'm going to put it on the line. I'm going to say that the win is going to be between Van Gisbergen and Tander, Cam Waters, Will Davison, Anton DePASQUALE, Brody Kostecki, and Nick PERCAT and Thomas Randall. They're my 4 picks for the win. I'll leave it at that. I won't go for a 5th. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I reckon Chaz is going to stick the car on pole. I think McLaughlin's going to be a little bit distracted going to IndyCar and it being his last race and everything. And yeah, they're going to be a top 5 car. In my opinion, I think one of those other 4 is going to take the win. Now, don't forget, it's your last chance. Tell me your 3 podium picks down in the comments. And this is the prize. It is a genuine Peter Brock signed poster. I don't have a certificate of authenticity or anything, but I was actually there on the day in 1997 when he signed it. So if you got any questions, I'll write a little note to say, yep, I was there with Peter Brock signing them on the day. So that covers off the running through the field for the Bathurst 1000. It's this weekend. I'm excited. A few months ago, you know, it was hard to think that this was going to happen this year. The championship's done and dusted, which means it's just going to be a flat-out fight for the race win. So until next time, I'll see you later.